Stop throwing away money on leads. I see agents that are spending $5, $10, $15, $50,000. Some teams across the country are spending $100,000 a month or more on lead. And I always ask them two questions. What's your conversion ratio? So when we talk about conversion ratio, how many leads are you paying for and receiving versus how many you're converting into actual sales? And then number two, what's your lead process? You have to know both of those if you're going to do this business at a very successful level. We all, of course, need leads. And when you think about that, they go, well,
I do all of my business from my database, Brendan, and by referral.
Those are lead, right? We just are calling it something different. Or Brendan, I've never paid for an internet lead, nor will I ever. When no one said internet lead, a lead can mean anyone that comes into your universe that has some sort of interest in buying, selling, or referring real estate business to you. That's how I define it, okay? So we're going to take you through all of this today, so stick around to the end. There's a couple of key pieces here that I think are really going to hit home with some pro tips to bring this process. Even if you think you have a great process now, maybe you'll learn something else. If you have no process at all, you're definitely going to get a lot out of this. And no matter what, we're constantly improving our process all the time. That's how we have to be. It's not version 1.0, we're on version 52.0 right now, right? Or whatever it is. So let's jump in. All right, so why processing a lead 100% is important. So when we use that word, people sometimes get a feeling about that word processing. You can call it nurturing, you can call it facilitating, you can call it whatever you want. But what that means is when something happens, when you meet someone that's looking to buy or sell or interested in real estate, or that maybe they're not, they just happen to end up on your website or filled out your what's my home worth, or they registered for one of your Facebook ads, or they came into an open house and signed in but never really, came back in touch with you or whatever it is. A lead. That's what we're talking about here. So do you have a systematic way of processing them every step of the way, and you do it exactly the same way every single time? When we say that's important is because once you start having a standardized system, then you can start to gauge your conversion rate. You can start to say, okay, last year let's just make simple numbers. I got 100 leads and I converted 10 deals. So for every 10 leads I pay for, I convert one closed transaction. For those 100 leads, it cost me X. So now I know if I want to increase my budget on that, and this worked out for me, if it's a 10-to-1 ratio, I can increase that spend on this lead source or multiple lead sources, and I can now start creating leverage around my business and growing my business, right? That's what we're going to look at. And then number two is, the only way to gauge that is if you're doing everything the same every single time. So it's extremely, extremely important to get this right. So how do I process a lead to increase my convert? All we're going to do is think about two things when we're working with leads. When I contact them, do I talk to them or did I not talk? So wherever you're watching this, or if you're listening in your car, don't do this, but remember, wherever you get back to a piece of pen and paper, take a piece of paper, cut it right down the line and say, here's my process if I speak to the lead, here's my process if I don't speak to them. And you're gonna bullet point the things that you do every single time. I'll take you through our process here, and then we'll talk about how to improve yours. And if you're part of our Elite Progression series, which is our nationwide coaching program, where we make you an elite real estate agent, or at least certainly give you everything that you're gonna need to be one, and then help coach you along the way. In this series, we give you all of our flow charts, every single one of them. So, and there's different ones because you're going to have different types of lead, right? Open house is going to be handled different than an expired. Networking event's going to be handled different than a client appreciation event. There's different types of flow charts for different things, but they all follow a very similar format. If they don't answer, I go through these processes. First of all, if I call a lead and they don't answer, I hang up the phone, I don't leave a message, and I call back a second time. We call that, it sounds terrible, but a double tap if you do any type of prospecting. Psychologically, if they see that phone number twice, most people will answer it. Now, I know some of you are listening right now. I'm gonna get comments on this and be like, yeah, Brendan, I hate when people do that to me. I'm just telling you what statistically works the best. I'm not telling you need to do it. I'm just telling you we've researched it and it works. So that's what we do. Then on the second call, if they don't answer, we leave a voicemail. Now, that's just one step of the process. Think about it. That sounds like, well, duh. All right, now, if they don't answer, there's a whole series of things that we do. We put them on a search. We put them on a market report. We have a text campaign, an email campaign. All of these things are systematic behind the scene that engages immediately, and our campaigns are built out for up to 3 years. Brendan, how the heck are you making that many text and email campaigns? Well, we added every so often new ones to it.